Dr. Crystal here. Anything is possible with the right mindset. Stick around to hear how to achieve this mindset with our special guest, Mark Moore.
You're listening to Live Foreverish, a show dedicated to helping you live just a little longer. Here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Crystal Gossard.
Welcome to Live Foreverish. Dr. Mike, I'm excited. Can you tell?
I know. I don't know how you do this, but you somehow get your family members on the show.
Well, I'm so excited. My cousin, Mark Moore, that we introduced, is my cousin. He's going to be our guest, and he inspired me, and he doesn't even know it. I'll disclose it once we bring him on. But there was a post that he made, and that post made a difference in my life. So I just want to introduce my cousin, Mark Moore, founder of To Be Continued. He is with To Be Continued is an online journal to encourage, motivate, and share his personal journey of overcoming obstacles in the way of becoming the best version of himself. He is a U.S. Army veteran and served 8 years of service. He's currently a basketball coach at George Washington freshman campus, where he inspires youth to reach for the stars and serves as an inspiration to his local community of Douglas, Georgia.
Yes.
Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm so happy you're here. We talked about this, Dr. Mike. Before I talked with Dr. Mike, I spoke with Mark and said, I need you on the show. And he said, yes, let's do it.
I love it. What I like about it, Dr. Crystal and Mark, we talk a lot about science and medicine. We've talked about weight and the science behind weight and all that. All that's great and it's important. But we'd love to hear the personal side of it too, as well, right? And having you on kind of completes the circle for us, if you will,
Good. Yes.
I'm going to say, before we get started here, Mark, I was a 7th grade basketball coach. You know why?
Why?
Because they couldn't find anybody else.
Oh, no.
No, we did really well. I coached him pretty good. I think, we're over 500. How's that?
Okay. That's good. It's good.
Anyways, Dr. Crystal.
That's right. That's the first fact. I learn something new about you every day. Well, Mark, just to start, congratulations.
Thank you.
So far, you have lost over 110 pounds.
Yes.
And that part's good. Yes. But this is what's impressive to me, Dr. Mike, and this is what inspired me. He has worked out over 45 minutes or more for over 560 consecutive days.
I gotta do 560 in my head. What is that like?
So that's over.
That's more than a year.
Oh. And he's doing this at 4:45 a.m.
Ooh. Oh.
So I'll have to tell you, I think when you hit your 365-day mark, and I saw that, I said, what am I doing with my life? There are no excuses. When I see someone that can consecutive days, I think that's the big thing, Dr. Mike. That
that's
means
pretty impressive.
rain, sleet, snow, no matter how you're feeling. If you're sick, you didn't get a good
You just work through it. You work through it. Right?
Through it.
No days off.
Yeah.
No days off.
Dr. Crystal, you and I, once again, we have a guest who proves to us that we're slackers. Yeah.
I'll tell you, that's so true. So, you're so transparent on how far you've come in your journey. I think the first thing we want to know is, do you remember that day your mindset changed? And what were those circumstances?
I like that.
I went over to the Dublin VA, get some regular checkups, and got in touch with this doctor. And for the first time, somebody was brutally honest with me. And once we had this conversation, and basically what he told me, he said, if you don't have any grandkids, the way you're going, you're not going to see them graduate high school or whatever the case was at that time. So I told him I didn't have any grandkids, and so he kind of put some fire under my end to do better so I could see my grandkids in the near future. So that happened on March the 2nd. I came back from my appointment. It's about an hour and a half drive. And I told that doctor off, to say the least. He couldn't hear anything I said, but I was telling him off, and I was telling him he didn't know who I was, and I dare him talk to me like that. I'm a grown man. And after talking and chewing him out and talking to myself, I said tomorrow, it's going to be on the journey. And that's kind of when it started.
Wow.
Dr. Mike, I want to ask you, as a physician, as a medical doctor, is it frowned upon to kind of have that straight talk, or did you do that, or do you feel like doctors need to just be very clear and upfront?
My approach was not to be paternal, right? I always wanted to have a good relationship with my patients. But if I had to tell them something that I believed based on my expertise in the reading of labs or history, whatever, if I needed to tell them something and jolt them a little bit, I had no problem doing it.
So there, the doctors that's listening now, sometimes you have to do that. And so I'm sure looking back, you were telling that doctor off, but I think looking back, you realize that tough talk is needed sometimes.
That's definitely what I needed. You talk to your friends and your family, and they kind of hint around, but not being direct. And this doctor, I think he was able to tell me something, and it registered, and it also challenged me. And I love a good challenge. And one of the challenges for me from him was he gave me about a 5-year plan. And I told him, I said, man, you don't know who you're talking to. And by the time I think it was about 2.5 weeks later, because they wanted to run some more tests on my heart and some things of that nature. And I told him, I said, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna show you how serious I am. And of course, he didn't think that was going to happen. So when I showed up, he didn't say anything at that time, but he knew that he was dealing with somebody different.
Yeah. And Mark, let me ask you this: so did you go through several different attempts to try to lose weight and stuff in the past, kind of on and off, or was this like the first time, and this was the thing that really jolted you? Like,
well,
what was your journey before this, I guess, is the question.
Well, of course, staying in the Army and being active all the time, never really had a weight issue. So we always stayed moving. But once I got in the military, I just got sorry, got lazy. And as things happened and time progressed, just bad habits. My daughter joined the military around 2012. And I remember her getting ready to get on the bus to go to basic training. And I made up my mind then. I said, at her graduation, I'm gonna look a lot different. And so that was about 8.5 weeks that I crashed, and I did everything that I wanted to do, and I got motivated, I got determined. And I think right in her graduation day, I had lost about 45 pounds. And so once we got to the graduation, we took those pictures and proud of her as well. But that was a short-term goal. That was not a life goal. And so shortly after that, the habits started to form and right back into the old bad thing. So it took to this again to finally make that decision to do it a life journey.
Wow. So, and that was kind of my question. So with this, why do you think you've been able to maintain it for so long, 560 and counting? Because that was 560 at the moment you sent us your bio. So
what is it, 570 days now?
But I think this time, I know this time around, it's a lifestyle, and so it's no turning back. It's no days off. We push through and we fight, and we try to motivate just by an example. I don't have to do much talking. People are actually getting a chance to see firsthand every day what I'm doing. And so that's kind of the form the to be continued. The journey don't stop.
And so how did that come to you, to be continued?
Well, I'm not good at social media stuff, so I remember the first morning, I finished I think the first day I decided to do an hour, and I got ready to kind of add something to the post, and it just came to be continued as if like tomorrow I'll be back, and it just kind of stuck, and the journey is it's gonna continue. It's not gonna stop, and we're gonna motivate. We're gonna keep inspiring and encourage our people. And long after I'm gone, to be continued, we're still registered with people, and they'll continue to push.
I'm curious, so 45 minutes a day, is that right? 45 minutes a day? Yeah. What are you doing? Like, is it muscle training one day, cardio, then like, what's the routine?
Well, my original plan was to go 365. I want to make 365. That was very important to me. To try to get some consistency done. So, in the first year, I told my doctor, I was just gonna do cardio. So the first 365, no weights, just cardio, just treadmill, and that was pretty much every day for the first year. And most of the time, I would do 45 minutes, but a lot of the time it was about 90 minutes. My goal is every day now to do about 90 minutes a day, and that's kind of what I stuck with. And like I said, straight cardio. I was trying to not really concerned with time, as far as how fast I get it done. I just wanted to make sure I got it done.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're to the point where we're kind of challenging ourselves to get that time down a little bit closer to where I needed to be.
That's good. Now I know your cousin over that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Your cousin over there is a doctor of clinical nutrition, so I'm sure she wants to know about your diet. Right? Am I wrong, Dr. Crystal? Don't you want to know?
You are. How did you guess, Dr. Lang? Well, I'm just, that's a curious with the physical activity. What role does nutrition play?
Very important. Because I had so many health issues going in, I would just say like pork, beef, those things were kind of eliminated off the top because of it was causing me to have gout flare-ups, gout issues. So once I figured out that was going on, of course they give you medicine to take. And I just said, no, I don't want to take any medicine. So those two things kind of just eliminate themselves. After that, I found out that that chicken was having a time processing as fast for me. So I removed that from my diet.
Oh.
I spoke to my mother one day, and a couple of days later she got me an air fryer. So from then on, it's been tilapia in the air fryer, and that's pretty much my diet. Green beans and a lot of water.
Also greens, a lot of water. We talked about you have lemon water in your cup now.
I drank a lot of lemon water. I try to do about 64 ounces before noon of water. And then pretty much if I make it back to the gym, like I said, we're in basketball now, so the water kind of slowed down a little bit as far as the evening drinks. But at a minimum, 64 is done by 12 o'clock. And we try to stay firm to that. We do a lot of fruits and vegetables.
Now, so you do your 4:45, and then you have the basketball practice. Do you run up and down the court with the players as well?
Oh no, those days are over. I just tell them where to go.
Okay. Now
I get around and shoot around with them, so
kind of like what I did with the 7th graders. Go run past that. You got to get in shape.
Well, when we're in the half court, I'll get out there and shoot. Let them know I can still shoot, but no running.
Okay.
No running.
And so now what is your doctor saying, and what changes have you seen with the lab reports, and what kind of feedback are you getting?
I get so excited because again, the doctor had a 5-year plan for me. I went and saw him at the end of the year. And when I walked in, he came in. We haven't seen each other gradually. But when I went back in there, the most impressive thing that he told me was that I took to heart was he told me that he wished he had more patients like me that actually follow his example, his direction to do better. A lot of people tell you they're gonna do better, but those results don't happen. So when he came in, he walked through the door. He turned around, got my chart, went back out, asked him to do my blood pressure again. He pulled my shirt up to see if I had any surgeries. And I told him no surgeries, so all work. And he gave me my chart and he told me, congratulations. And he told me I didn't have to see him again unless I just wanted to.
Oh,
Wow.
fantastic.
Yeah, so
A good report. Now, do you have any add-ins, like any multivitamins, any fish oils? I'm putting you on the spot here.
my daughter, again, she's in the Army, and she gave me this muscle recovery protein drink I could put in my water sometime. That has helped. Again, I'm up to about 5.5, 6 miles a workout. So that has helped. But that's pretty much it. A lot of water. I do a muscle recovery as far as that goes. And that's pretty much it.
I know you guys talked a little bit about the to be continued and where like that concept and stuff, but I just want to know, like, if I want it to go on, like so it's an online journal, right? Meant to like encourage. What does that mean? If I joined or I recommended this to somebody, what is it? Do they journal? Do they send you messages? Like, how does that work? Like, where's the journal part coming?
But really and truly, everything, every post that I make, everything that I put at the end, it's all for me. I do it for me. It's not to shoot at anybody. I think there's more than I just said. The grind continues or something like that. But that's a message to me. And when people reach out and talk to me, I try to make it about them. What's personal? What's gonna drive you? And I'm just here to help encourage you just by watching my story, watching my journey.
Yeah. I think that if I don't, Dr. Crystal, real quick, Mark, you're doing something that we miss in this culture today, and that's connection. You're connecting with others who are going through the same thing, and that connection is often enough motivation for them to keep going. I think so many people today, they're told by their doctor, go do this and go do that and lose that, whatever. And then they just leave and there's no connection to anything. There's no connection to another person. There's no connection to a program. Even some programs out there that people can join are not personal, but you're offering a personal connection. And I think that's key.
Yeah. And I think the other piece, it gives you, I know you're accountable to yourself. And so you're strong enough for yourself, but when you are connecting and doing it kind of for yourself, it creates some accountability too. That's sometimes I'm so afraid to post because I say, well, if I put this into the atmosphere,
Yep, accountability.
people are going to expect it. And
Right.
so I think that, I don't know if you realize that, but
Right.
that's the piece
Right.
to lasting behavior changes is having that accountability.
Yeah. And accountability is really only real if somebody has a real connection with somebody.
That's right.
You can join. You can be like join one of these programs out there. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the names of them. And you could be one of millions and millions, and they talk about accountability and stuff. But who are you accountable? Your account, like your little typing on your little message, or whatever. People are connecting with you, and that's real accountability.
Yes. It happened actually this week. We had a late game. We got back late. back to Douglas, and I overslept. So I got to the gym. Little about it's around 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes. Nothing. He's calling that oversleep.
So I got to the gym a little late, and there's a young lady that goes out with church, and she's in the gym now, and by the time I got there, she got there early, and she hadn't finished, and so by the time I finished my workout, I made my post, and within 15 minutes, she texted me and she said, "I was wondering what happened to you, because you wasn't here on time." So there are people watching and waiting, and that helps me out too.
Wow, that's
too.
There you go. So, Mark, whether you like it or not, you're stuck.
We locked in. We locked in.
Well, your story is so truly inspiring, and as I mentioned earlier, you inspired me. That 365-day post. I have personally have been in this space where I eat well, and if it wasn't for my discipline with eating, who knows where I would be health wise. I take nutrition and add-ins and things like that as well, but I have not been consistent with physical activity. And Dr. Mike, that's after that. I think about you. Now, I'm not every day. And it's not at 4:45 in the morning, but I try to do something regularly.
And normally, Dr. Crystal, you try to do the trends. You're always doing the trendy thing out there. You were just telling me how it was the hot aerobics or the whatever. I can't even remember what it was. You were just doing another trend.
Goat
aerobics or something, or goat yoga.
I do. But consistency, and I think that's
very important
to me. That stands out, and I think with anything, Dr. Mike, if you are consistent. And the other thing that I learned just from the consistency, I personally got rid of my scale. I stopped weighing, and I stopped worrying about it, and said, if I am consistent, it may not be every day, but if I'm consistent over the span of a week, or consistent over the span of 2 weeks, give myself grace, and I know at least within that 2-week time frame, if I'm working out in physical, because it's, I ride my bike, I do all kinds of things. But if I'm doing something at least 3 to 4 times a week consistently, the results will happen. It will take care of itself.
Go happen.
And Mark, she has, for every different type of exercise, she has the clothing, she has the shoe.
Oh yeah, that's Chris.
Oh yeah, she has a different outfit for each little type of thing she might do.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, hey Mark, let's do two things. Let's have you. We kind of like to end our interviews by asking the main guest to share with the audience what's the take home message. What we have a lot of listeners. What would you like for them to know about weight loss, your journey? It's something they can remember, a little nugget.
Chris would hit on the head. Just be consistent. Understand that this is a short-lived life, and we have to take advantage of the tool that's out there to continue to live. And I always say, fall in love with the process, and the results will come. So I'm in love with the process, and the results are definitely happening. So that's my message.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I like that too, Dr. Chris. So focus on the process, get involved with that. Don't worry so much about the end result. Just keep doing it, right? The end result will happen. But if you're always thinking, where are you down that line? You're not being mindful in the moment, just focus on that. That's fantastic. How can our listeners follow you? Do you what's the website for To Be Continued?
Pretty much on my Facebook, it's Mark Mo Moore on Facebook, and on Instagram it's MoBetter24.
That's great.
Better 24. I love that.
24, fantastic. Hey Mark, thank you for joining us today and sharing your story.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
I
Good
appreciate
luck.
y'all.
Well, how about when you hit the 2-year mark, you're going to come back on?
For sure.
Yeah.
We get close.
Oh, because you know why? Now you're accountable to our whole audience. Yes, we got you.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Hey, Mark, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Appreciate you.
All right, don't forget our sponsor, Dr. Crystal Life Extension, loves our audience so much that they are offering a 10% off $50 or more free shipping and handling at lifeextension.com. And when you check out, all you got to do is put in the code podcast. You were off, Dr. Crystal. Try that again. Ready? Podcast. No, you're off again. Try that again. Ready? One, two, three. Podcast. And then we have liveforeverish.com, over 400 episodes for you to listen to. Please, when you download them, like, share, comment, and of course, subscribe so you never miss a show. That's liveforeverish.com. I'm Dr. Mike, and that is
Dr. Crystal.
Thanks for listening.